Hello and welcome back to Holistic Happiness Club, a place where we talk about happiness holistically. And the first thing first, I want to say thanks to each one of you. I'm so grateful that you have chosen to listen to this podcast, and some of you choose to listen to this podcast every week. Some of you tune in every week to check out what is new that is there on Holistic Happiness Club. And this makes me so humble and grateful at the same time because there are some people out there who are valuing what I am putting out, and I'm trying my best every week to give you the value of your time, the time you invest with me, the time you invest with Holistic Happiness Club. I am trying that you get the best result out of that. All right, that said, I have a humble request to all of you as well, that if you have found this podcast useful, please consider to vote up this episode. Please consider to rate this podcast on Spotify and iTunes. That will help me reach more and more people and add value to more and more people's life. Thank you so much again for tuning in and listening to this podcast. Today I'm going to talk about some tiny things, tiny habits that we do or don't do on daily basis, and that can hamper our progress big time. Not only hamper our progress, but they can actually reverse our whole progress. They are so powerful, but they are so tiny at the same time that we miss to notice them. We take care of big things, but we miss to notice these small things. So what are these things and how can we overcome, and how can we uh, change them into something that does not derail our progress, that does not hamper our progress? So that all of these things we will discuss in this episode. So stay tuned till the very end, because this is going to be very interesting, because these tiny things, these are there in every one of our life, and I have been victim of every single one of them. All right, so stay tuned till the very end, because this episode is going to be very very interesting. Hi, my name is Akshay Tiwari. I'm a holistic happiness coach, author of the book named Usher, and the founder of Holistic Happiness Club. Holistic Happiness Club is the place where we talk about happiness holistically. We understand that happiness is not a single faceted thing, it is a multifaceted thing, and that's why it needs to be looked at from every possible angle. So, we talk about everything that is related with happiness: your success, your finances, your relationships, your health, your mental well-being, your personal development, and everything else that can contribute to your happiness. And because everything comes together, and that's what make you happy. More about Holistic Happiness Club and about me at the end of the episode, but for now, let's dive into the topic and start the topic of the day. All right, let's dive right into the topic of the day and talk about the first mishap. That this mishap we all go through at some point in our life, and chances are most of us are going through with this one right in this point in our life. That is called sleep extremes. What do I mean by sleep extremes? It is both sleeping too much and sleeping too less. Sleeping too much and sleeping too less, both are equally dangerous. Both have negative impact on your physical health and as well as your mental health. All right, and there are studies, there are scientific data, there are journals which have been published on both sides. If you're sleeping too much, if you're sleeping too less, both have a negative impact on your physical and mental well-being. So how you will decide that whether you are sleeping adequately or not? How you will decide whether you are sleeping too much or sleeping too less? And I'm not here to tell you that you have to sleep 8 hours a day. That's the best, that you can get in terms of sleep, because I don't believe it is true. To each his own. Although a large population of ours falls into the category of 7 to 9 hours, but that does not mean that everyone should be following this rule of thumb, because there is no such rule. So some people can do good with 4 to 5 hours of sleep as well. So how you will know that whether how much ever you are sleeping, that is good for you or not? So the first thing that you need to notice: when you are waking up, you should be feeling fresh, you should be feeling energetic, you should be feeling that I am ready to take on the day. You should not need that beverage, the coffee or anything else stimulant to just get you out of the bed, to just get you through the day, to just start your day, right? So that's when you know that you're sleeping well. I'm not saying that you should not have coffee or tea or whatever you are taking. That's a separate topic. We can have a different discussion on that topic. But for now, what I'm trying to say is, when you are waking up, feel that freshness that you are waking up, feel that energy that you have to take on the day. If you are having that energy, that enthusiasm, that zeal, then of course, then chances are that you are sleeping well, right? But if you are feeling uh, lethargy and you are feeling groggy, cranky, of course you have not slept well. Either you have slept too much or you have slept too less. You need to work on your sleep. How you can work on your sleep? I mean, there are plenty of things that are available, but few tips can be: sleep closer to sunset, as close as as close as possible to sunset. Number one, eat an early dinner so that by the time you are going to sleep, it is well digested from your stomach. It is not in the stomach. Stomach is empty. And the thing is that you can adjust your environment, room environment, so that it is conducive to your sleep. You can have some natural aroma like chamomile and lavender. You can have chamomile or lavender tea half an hour before bed. That will be soothing. You can uh, control the temperature of the room. If the room temperature is little low, little, if it is little cold, you will be able to sleep better. And the most important thing for sleep is, when you are waking up in the morning, go out in the sunlight. If you do this simple thing, it will take care of so many problems, not only in terms of sleep but also in terms of other physical and mental well-being problems. All right, I'm not getting into the details. You can find it out what happens when you view sunlight, when you soak sunlight in the morning. But if you are able to get that 15 minutes of morning sun, 15 to 20 minutes of morning sun, your sleep cycle will adjust very beautifully. Of course, not from day one, but you need to do it consistently for at least a month or so. Then you will start seeing the result. Just wake up in the morning. Doesn't matter when you are waking up, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock. Whenever you are waking up, just go out and soak the sun for 20 minutes. That's it. That's your task for next 1 month. Full disclaimer, I am right now struggling to regulate my sleep. Okay. And I promise you with this podcast that I am going to work on my sleep from today onwards. Right. I am trying to work on so many things, and whenever that happens, my sleep cycle derails. Either I sleep too late, or mostly I sleep too late. Right. So right now I'm going through that cycle, but I promise you that I'm going to work on this. It has happened multiple times in the past. I have got derailed from my sleep cycle, and then again I got back. So again, this is another cycle that I am going to try again and fix my sleep routine. So sleeping too much and sleeping too less, both are not good. So if you are sleeping too less, you need to fix it. If you're sleeping too much, you need to fix it. And the simplest fix available for sleep is viewing and soaking sunlight. All right. And as in Ayurveda, it is said that like attracts like and opposites create balance. So if you are sleeping too less, of course, you will be drawn towards sleeping too less. And if you are sleeping too much, of course, you will be drawn towards things that are lazy, laid back, and such things. Right. So we need to do the opposite thing. We need to do the opposite thing so to create that balance. There can be so many other things as well that can be conducive to sleep. That is your physical exercise, your diet, and all. That itself will become a whole new multiple episode of podcast can be dedicated how you can improve your sleep through diet, through exercise, and other things. But in short, just keep your lifestyle in check. Try to have a sleep routine and view sunlight in the morning. Okay, let's move on to the next one: neglecting physical well-being. All right. So when we are young, when we are in 20s, 30s, and even in 40s, we have that energy by nature, which that nature has given us. And and we are trying to achieve so many things in our life. We want to build a career, we want to build a home, we want to buy new car, fancy things, and so many things to show off to people. right? In all this, because we are young, we are capable of doing multiple things physically. We keep on neglecting our physical well-being. We think that there is time, we will do it later, we will invest in our physical well-being later, we will go to gym from tomorrow, until the doctor says that now is the time, that your cholesterol is too high, you are pre-diabetic or whatever. People don't start investing in their own physical well-being. Now, I'm not saying that you need to buy a expensive gym membership or anything of that sort. Simple things like taking call, I mean walk while you are taking calls, either it's a phone call, and if possible, if your meeting office meetings allows you, that you can take a walk while you are taking meetings, and when you are on calls with your family and friends, of course you can take a walk. This simple one thing can take care of multiple things. The thing is that nowadays jobs are like that we sit for long hours. All right, and when we sit for long hours, we become sedentary, and by design our lifestyle has become sedentary. Everything comes to our doorstep, we don't have to go to market to shop, we don't have to do so many things we don't have, which we used to do earlier. We don't have to do too much of cleaning, we can have a cleaning house help in India especially. But if you are living abroad, there are so many gadgets available, there are so many appliances available that makes your job very much easier compared to earlier. So when our physical load has been reduced a lot, our physical activity also has reduced a lot, and that has, on one hand, it has created more time for us, which we can invest in more productive things. On the other hand, it has removed physicality from our life, and physicality, when it is removed or reduced to a great level, it has become a problem. It is said that sitting is the new smoking, because sitting cause long hours of sitting causes a lot of problem. It includes your bad, if you are sitting in a bad posture, there will be multiple pains in your body, your hand, your shoulders, your joints might pain, your leg might pain, and so many other things, right? So, and when you're sitting for long hours, your blood circulation that gets hindered, and numerous other problems happen. If you just can google that, what all happen if you're sitting for long hours, it will give you great list of things that I am sure you don't want. All right, so the simplest way to avoid all this is walking. Of course, there are level up, if you want to level up your game, then there are so many things that you can invest in sport. You can go to gym, you can do yoga or other things, right? But the simplest thing that you can incorporate in your lifestyle is more walking. When you get a call, just get up and walk. When you want to go to buy grocery, just go by walking or take bicycle, right? Simple thing. When you are going to office, if it is nearby, then try to walk instead of taking your vehicle. And if when you are coming to your home, if you are living in an apartment, a multi-story apartment, that then maybe take stairs, right? Whenever possible, take stairs. Now you might say that I'm living on 13th or 14th floor, how can I take a stair for 13th and 14th floor, because it will be so much time consuming. All right, I hear you. If you are living on 14th floor, just take the lift till 12th floor. Rest two floor you can walk, right? You can take stairs. So excuses are hundreds, but if you want to work on your health, there are 101 reasons also. You need to choose your reason to work on your health. The simplest reason to work on your health is your ultimate life partner is your body. Your ultimate dharma, ultimate duty is to take care of your body, because if your body is good, body is in well, uh, body is in good health condition, only then you will be able to enjoy everything else that you're building right now. So do not neglect your physical well-being. There are so many ways in which you can invest in your physical well-being. The simplest one is include more walking. I'm not saying that you need to stop right there. You need to start from including more walking in your daily activities. Right, this is the simplest one. Okay, so this was the second thing that we all sometimes, or maybe many of us ignore it most of the time. Right, I know many of my friends who are in mid 30s and early 40s. They have got severe problems like they are pre-diabetic, and they are obese, and they are not able to walk 2 or 3 kilometer also on a daily basis. When if the need will arrive, they can walk maybe, but it's a daunting task for them to walk 2 to 3 kilometer, and to me 2 to 3 kilometers should be nothing for most of us, right? At this age, at the age of mid 30s and early 40s, 2 to 3 kilometers should be nothing. 5 kilometers should be nothing. We should be able to walk anytime. I'm not saying that if you are not able to walk 1 kilometer also today, then you are in a very very I don't want to paint the picture red. All I'm saying that start as small as possible. If you are not able to walk 100-meter today, walk 50-meter. Tomorrow it will become 100-meter, and you will not get to know. If you are incorporating in this walking and physical activity in your lifestyle, start very very small. At such a small level you need to start, that you cannot fail. Like, I will walk 100-meter, 200-meter, 2 minutes of call I will take walking. How can you fail in this one? Once you start, it will start growing from there, right? Anyways, enough about physical well-being. Just incorporate more walking in your life, and this is the starting point. Once you'll start from here, you will see other ways will open to incorporate more physicality in your life. Okay, moving on to the next one. Polypharmacy. What do I mean by polypharmacy? This is something I think I have made it up. I mean that people are too much dependent on pills, and most of it comes from the previous one, which is neglecting your physical well-being, not having a proper lifestyle. All right. What do I mean that people are dependent too much on the medicines, on the pills? I see people every now and then they take pills for headache, for body pain, for acidity. They take antacids, etc. So for simple things, people don't want to suffer even for a minute. I'm not saying that you should suffer even for a minute, but what I'm trying to say that you need to look for more natural cure for your problems. And so simple headache or simple body pain once in a while is normal, right? You don't have to take a pill for every small problem that you have. Of course, if it is unbearable, of course you need to resort to medicine. I'm not saying that you should ditch the medicine for whole life and you should become a saint. No, try to avoid, try to minimize as much as possible. Don't take medicine just for the every single problem, every single small problem. If you are feeling acidic, we just go ahead and take some antacid, whether it's in the form of pill or in the form of liquid, right? So many people does that, and I'm like, why? If you are feeling acidic, just try to reflect why it is happening. Try if, and if you need a cure, if you are not able to sit with that, there are more natural cures available. Take lemon water for instance. Little lukewarm water with lemon, if you are taking that, it will help you, right? So why not try a more natural cure? It will reduce the impact that it is having right now on you, so that you will be able to bear it. And our body is very very intelligent. Our body always try to heal us, always try to give us support, always try to heal itself on its own. Just give it some time, give it some rest. But we don't want to rest, we just want to hop on to the next thing. So when you are not feeling good, try to try to relax, try to rest, resort to some more natural cure, and try to eliminate the root cause. How many of us would want to invest in deep breathing so that we don't get headaches, versus whenever we are getting a headache we just resort to pills? See, I'm not saying that if somebody is having a serious problem they should not resort to pills. They should consult to the doctor and they should resort to the pills, but what I'm saying that try to minimize their role. Another thing that I have seen, that people are too much and overly dependent on supplements. Supplements are there, and they are supposed to supplement whatever is not being fulfilled with your diet and your lifestyle. How many of us try to fulfill things with diet and lifestyle? And if you hear nutritionist, most of the supplement needs should not be there. Because our food, if you are having, if you're eating more natural food and a little bit of a variety of food, most likely you should not need any of the supplement, most of the supplement. And even if you are taking a supplement with the under the guidance of the health practitioner, According to me, you should not be dependent on that. The problem here is not using the pills. Not problem here is not using that supplement. The problem here is becoming dependent on that pill or supplement. That is the problem. If you are dependent, every time you are having a headache you need to have that painkiller handy with you. That's the problem. And being dependent on a pill, when you are not able to function on a regular basis, on a daily basis, on a maybe on a weekly basis, every month you need to resort to the pills. That's when the problem is. If we are dependent on pills, that means that there is scope of improvement. I'm not saying from tomorrow onwards throw away all the pills and change your lifestyle completely. Of course you can change your lifestyle. You can take tiny small steps. For example, drink more water, stay hydrated, it will reduce your pains. And if you are having acidity problem, look for look for the portion of your meals. Look for what you are eating. Is it too much fry item or anything like that which is too heavy to digest? Because of that we are getting that acidic reflex. Or your eating intervals are too irregular that your body your stomach is releasing acids on different time, and when it is not getting food on that particular time, maybe it is creating acidity. So there can be causes. You just reflect, you just need note down for 2 days that why you are getting this problem, and you will be able to come out of it. And if you are not able to, then there are experts available, you can consult to them. If you want, I can redirect you to some of them. So when you try to work on the problem, when you try to observe the problem, you will be able to find out the solution, you will be able to find out the root cause, right? If you are not able to, then there are experts who will be able to help you to find out the root cause and eliminate it through diet, lifestyle, and other changes. So minimize the role of these medicines in your life. Don't be dependent. Once in a while using them is fine. I too use supplements once in a while, but I don't take any supplement throughout the year. Any supplement, I take them whenever I think I need them, or whenever my health practitioner think that I need them. I use them for some time, maximum for 3 months, and I leave them, because I don't want to be dependent on any kind of supplement. And most of the time of the year I don't take any supplement. And whenever I'm taking, I told you that I get rid of that in 3 months of time maximum, because I try to fulfill that need from lifestyle and diet. All right, the next thing is digital overload. I don't think I have to explain too much about it. We all are hooked onto our screen all the time, whether it is social media apps or whether it is shopping apps or anything. But most of the time we are into our phones, most of the time we are into our tablets, scrolling something, be it of information, be it of productivity, or be it of entertainment. Our most of our time is getting into these screens. Now, this can be, I mean, there are things that cannot be done without this screen nowadays, because these has taken so much space in our life. And I'm not saying that you should throw away all the screen, because in fact I'm using right now when I'm recording this podcast. So we cannot do away with that, but at least try to minimize their role. If not necessarily, if not necessary, then don't try to use your phone, at least in the early hour of morning and the late hour of evening when you're going to sleep. Try to minimize their role. Try to um, not use your phone mindlessly, that whenever you are bored, whenever you have time, you just took the phone out and you started using it. Try to allocate some time to to your phone, or at least try to allocate some time for yourself away from all the gadgets. Try to allocate a time in a day when you are sitting alone, not doing anything, at least not using any screen, neither TV, nor tablet, nor your phone. Maybe you are reading a book, maybe you are meditating, maybe you are journaling, maybe you're just sitting quietly, sipping a cup of tea. That's it. If you are away from this digital world for some time in the day, that will also minimize it. And the excessive use has lot of problems in terms of ayurveda, because it opens a lot of possibility. It increases your vata, it increases the anxiety, it increases the problems that comes with vata, like acidity, like flatulence, racing mind, and all other problems that can come with that kind of energy. And I myself have experienced it. When I use too much of these gadgets, first of all my neck hurt. All right. And always whenever there is a pain, according to Ayurveda, whenever there is a pain, it includes vata. Okay. So first of all my neck hurt if I'm using too much of my phone. And then it starts means my second thing is that my digestion gets hindered. So I'm not able to digest food properly if I'm using too much of gadgets. All right. Anyways, my digestion is delicate. So what I'm trying to say is, there there is beautiful ways to minimize the role of screen in our day to day life. The simplest one, I would say, that allocate some time in the beginning when you are sitting with yourself, sitting with your favorite activity away from screens, not using TV, not using iPad, or not using mobile. As I said, maybe journaling, or just sipping a cup of tea if you are not meditating or journaling, if that's not the cup of your tea. All right. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you are taking some time away, if you are seeding that slowly over time, it will become, it will turn into something else, and it will create a balance. All right. So that was digital overload. Last one for today is diet extremes. Now, when we start talking about diet, there can be so many things there. It's a plethora of things. It's a science in itself, it's a subject matter in itself, of course, diet, right? So I'm not trying to get into everything related to diet here. I'm just trying to highlight two things: excessive use of salt and sugar, or very less use of salt and sugar. Now, some of you might be like, what? Very less use of sugar? Isn't it like sugar is all bad and we should try to cut out sugar? We should not use sugar at all? No, it's not so. Sugar is also needed for us. What we should try to cut out, or what we should try to avoid, is that refined sugar. All right. Sugar is needed for all of us. Sugar is in fruits, sugar is in grains. So that kind of sugar is good. But when we reach out to everything that is sweet, and especially that is made up of a refined sugar, that is dangerous. So when we excessively use sugar, or at the same time when we try to cut out sugar, like when we try to cut out carbs altogether, so that in that time we are using very less sugar, and that is also not healthy according to me, right? So that is, I mean, very less use of salt and sugar and too much use of salt and sugar, both are not healthy. And if you want to read about the repercussions that they can have, that what will happen if you are eating too much of sugar, or what will happen if you're eating too less of sugar, or too less of salt and sugar, too less of salt and too much of salt, you will get the idea that what it can cause. So again, try to make it make try to use these things in balance. Another thing that we go in extreme most of the time is fruits. Full disclosure, I am also a culprit, that I mostly forget to order my fruits, and my fridge sometimes gets empty, and it runs out of fruit, and there are no fruit, and I don't give a damn about it. For few days it can go like just like that, without fruits. So I have seen people who do not give any attention or any heed to fruits. For them, fruit does not exist in the world. They can go on eating anything else, too much of garbage, too much of junk food, and maybe too much, not just junk food. As for me, I don't eat outside food. I don't eat packaged food. Mostly I eat home cooked food. So that is all natural. But sometimes I forget to eat fruits for days consecutively. All right. And there are people who overload on fruits, who live on fruit. And I'm telling you, both things are not good. Okay. I will promise you that I'll try to incorporate more fruits from now onwards, because I'm saying this on podcast. I'm promising to all of you that I'm going to work on my fruit habits. But let me tell you that not eating fruit is not good, because fruits are good for our health. Anyways, we most of us know that. But eating too much of fruit, that is also not good. Anything in excess is not good. Everything in moderation can be good. All right. So we need to find that sweet spot. We need to find that moderation. Eating too much of fruit or bad combinations of food, like eating fruits right before your food or along with your food, might not be a good idea. All right. And right after or after your food also might not be a good idea. Eating fruits at night might not be a good idea. Can it be a good idea sometimes? Yes, maybe. Depends on the situation, depends on the person, depends on the condition of the person. So you need to check it with your health practitioner, but in general, don't over get overly dependent on fruits. Fruits are good, but in excess they are not good. In excess, anything good is bad. So advice to all those who are overly dependent on fruit: get in touch with a health practitioner. They will guide you how you can make a balance of fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, etc., etc. All right. So anything in balance will be good for your health, for you. Anything in excess or anything too less is not going to be good. So this was the end of the topic for today. It was part 1 of tiny things that we can change in our life and that will have big result. So today we have touched upon mostly on the physical part, like phones, like diets, sleeping. So all these things are mostly physical. In the next part we will try to touch base upon some mental things which are very tiny, and again they will have a big impact in our life. Like for example, like getting more physical, neglecting our physical well-being. It's such a simple thing. It might look like that, okay, I did not exercise it today, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal, because what you are doing today is investing in your health. Only then everything, these tiny things are investment of today. They will become a big corpus tomorrow. And if you are not investing and just spending from whatever is available to you, no matter what you are building, no matter how much wealth you are going to build, it is not going to be of any use. At the same time, it will start reversing, because if you are not sleeping well, if you are not neglecting your physical well-being, if you are not eating well, if you are eating too much sugar or too less sugar, too much salt or too less salt, too many fruits, too much of fruits or no fruits, ultimately all these things are adding up. They are compounding over time, and they will come back. Because every day when you are losing a little bit of energy, every day you are losing a little bit of zeal, every day your health is getting little less better, little more on the negative side. So when you are not healthy, ultimately you will not be able to progress further. Ultimately it will hinder on your energy of accomplishing things. So maybe you are neglecting these tiny things in order to achieve something big, in order to set up a business, in order to maybe right now save for something else, preparing for some great exam. All that is good, but if you are not working on yourself, you are preparing to fail anyways. Because no matter what you achieve right now, that will get less and less. If you're working on some long term goal, then it becomes extremely important that you focus on your health first, focus on all these tiny things first. Because with each passing day, if you are getting sicker and sicker, ultimately you will not be able to enjoy the fruits of whatever you are building. So it is extremely important that you invest in your health, invest in your well-being. So this was the past part 1 of tiny things that can have a big impact, and it is very easy to correct them. It is very easy to change or tune something in your day-to-day life, and that will have a big impact. Of course, not in one day, not in 1 month, but going forward in long term. Tiny things will add, they will compound, and it will give you big results. All right, so this was the end of the topic of the day. But before we end the episode, I would like to make this announcement that Holistic Happiness Club, join the Holistic Happiness Club, become a member of Holistic Happiness Club. There are so many perks and benefits of becoming a Holistic Happiness Club's member. I will be present there to coach you and guide you myself for happiness and success in your life. because both goes hand in hand, and there are so many other things that goes hand in hand, and we can talk all about them. All right, so there is one ebook which I have written for your happiness. The book's name is Happiness Blueprint: Practical Strategies for Achieving Fulfilled Life. At the same time, means this book focuses on the small practices that you can small nuances and practices that you can or incorporate in your life in order to become more happy, at the same time become more successful, at the same time become more growth oriented. All right, because so many people think that being successful and being happy are two different things. I mean, yes, they can be two different things, but they don't have to be. You can be both successful and happy at the same time, right? So this book teaches all about that. So please download that book. I will leave a link in the description box, so from there you can download this book. All right, and if you want to book a one-to-one call with me, if you want to connect with me on one-to-one and discuss the roadblocks and the problems that you are currently facing in order to become successful and happy at the same time, we can get on a one-to-one call. We can discuss what are the roadblocks, and we can try to come up with a strategic plan for you, personalized for you, that will help you to achieve happiness and success at the same time. So if you want to book a one-to-one call with me, I will leave that that link also in the description, so you can book a one-to-one call with me. All right, if you want to connect with me on social media, Instagram is the place. Happiness Architect is my Instagram handle, and if you want to check out my website, akshaytiwari.in is my website. So that's it for today. Stay happy, stay well, take care of yourself, take care of your loved one, take care of the people around you, and always remember, happiness is a lifestyle.